So today I wanted to share with you a little story, which I think is really relevant to the process associated with learning and also improving your golf game. Back in 1995 was my first really relevant job in coaching. I was coaching at a place called the Atlantic Club in Long Island, New York. And what I would do is I would give my lessons during the day. And once I got done teaching, I would go to the back of the range and I would work on my own swing. Well, even coaches have things to work on. And back then, this is the issue I had with my golf game. So my backswing would travel too much to the inside. The top of my swing would get a little bit across the line. My downswing would get a little bit too steep. And this steep angle of attack was causing me to hit the ball off the toe, take deep divots, pull the ball left, and hit this terrible little fade to the right. It drove me absolutely crazy. Well, as a coach, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how I wanted to fix my takeaway, the top, the transition, the downswing. I knew all the answers. But the problem is, no matter what I tried, I simply could not fix it, and it drove me nuts. Well, one of the things about my life, which is kind of a cool fact, is that I went to high school with Jim Furyk. Jim Furyk played on my high school golf team. He's a couple years older than I am. He used to drive me to school in the morning in his red Pontiac Fiero. So I really looked up to Jim, and I watched him hit a ton of golf balls. And of course, Jim Furyk, we all know that he's got this undeniable uniqueness to his swing, which is the fact that he makes a pretty huge loop between the backswing and the downswing. Now, if you watch his swing now, his takeaway actually goes a little bit inside, up, and under. But the way that I remembered it in high school was the fact that it actually used to go out a little bit more and then drop underneath. So I'm having this practice session, at my old place of coaching, and I kind of have one of these meltdown moments, right? We all have them. I try and be a positive guy, try and stay on top of things as it relates to the mindset associated with performing to the best of our ability. But you know what? It's hard to do that all the time. So I was having a rough go of it. Everything that I tried would make this club still go inside, over the top, same ball flight. And in that meltdown moment, something in me snapped and it said, swing like Jim. So I slammed the club head into the ground. And in my mind, I took that club head and I threw it out in front of me. The club up over my head. I let the club head drop way behind me, coming down. I made contact, the ball flew out towards the target. Well, the thing that was really unique about this shot is that it was the best shot that I hit probably in about 18 months. The ball hit the center of the face. The ball started to the right, had a soft little draw back to the left. I could not believe that swinging like Jim Furyk in my mind would lead to a shot like that. So I took my club, I threw it down on the ground, and I walked back to this video camera that I had. Now back then, we didn't have all these slick little video cameras that we use now. You couldn't take video on your iPhone. I had like an Action 10 video camera. It was VHS. You could practically sit that thing on your shoulder. I'd have to go look through this viewfinder to see what my swing looked like. So I walked back to this camera, and I look in there, and what I saw absolutely floored me. What I saw was a backswing, downswing, and follow-through that never left the swing plane. To me, it was my ideal looking swing. This club traveled back the plane, down the plane, right on the shaft plane and impact, into my ideal follow-through. It looked absolutely perfect. And in that moment, I learned a really big lesson as it relates to learning. It's not only important to have the right information, but it's important to be willing to put yourself in a learning environment that actually allows you to make the change. We hear this saying all the time is, you got to go a mile to get an inch. Well, never has that been more true as it relates to learning how to improve your golf game. So if you think about this little Furyk swing, it was, in essence, the exact opposite of everything that I was doing. Instead of taking the club a little bit inside, I had to feel like the club head was way out there, just to make my takeaway come out looking normal. As it relates to the downswing, I used to come down this way. It had to feel like I made this massive loop, like that club head was traveling around the world, just to get this club onto a reasonable plane coming down. And as I made this massive Furyk move, what happened? My swing changed only a little bit, but it changed enough to give me the result that I was looking for. So one of the things that I like to do in coaching is I like to put my clients in a learning environment where they feel like it's okay to make some swings that feel pretty awkward. It's okay to stretch their imagination. It's okay to stretch their body and move in ways they never moved before. And one thing about my clientele is that I'll give them credit. A lot of my clients have a very high golf IQ. They're good players, they care about their game, and a lot of them actually have some very good ideas as it relates to their golf swing when they show up on my lesson tee. So why is it that they can take a good idea but really not change? It's all because when you're working on your own, you're not allowing yourself to put yourself in that learning environment where you exaggerate to the degree necessary to actually make the change you're looking for. So, if you're out there videotaping your swing and you think you know what you need to do to fix it, the challenge is stretch your imagination. Make a swing that is the exact opposite of everything you're doing to such a wild degree that you can actually see a change on the video. Slow your swing down a little bit, maybe take a 7-iron or a 6-iron, put your ball on a medium height tee, but remember this little story about me and Jim Furyk. I think when you go out there and you let yourself get into the proper learning environment, you'll really start to notice that if you have the right ideas, your swing will change. It will change in a positive manner. So that's a little story here today from my learning center at the Raven Golf Club Phoenix. Best of luck with your game. I guarantee this little tip will definitely help.